Hey again, everyone. I am Jacob Dacus. It's so nice to be here today to talk with you all a little bit about our readings. My last name starts with a D, so I'm going to primarily be focusing on Chapter 3. From Chapter 3, entitled Weighing the Words, I have chosen to discuss briefly about the concept of a community of agreement. Simply put, the community of agreement is the standard core principle of an interpretive theory. It states that when proposing an interpretive theory, it must have community support and approval to be considered good or valid. Now that I have laid the background for community of agreement, let me share with you a professional experience that I feel represents how and why community of agreement is important. In my office, there are 7 of us that work in one department and 7 that work in a separate department. Together we make a team of 14. Oftentimes, the team members in both groups do many tasks individually and with little to no supervision. Everyone has their designated roles and is responsible for the completion of certain tasks. Everyone in our team, all 14 of us, rely on each other to do the jobs individually and correctly, because if not, our team performance suffers. One way that we ensure that everyone does their jobs correctly is through regularly scheduled team meetings. Each department has bi-weekly team meetings, and then we all come together for once a month for a full team meeting. Typically, these team meetings are pretty structured, and throughout the prior weeks, we all make notes in a document so we can elaborate on things that we see that are going well or that need to be improved. Each time someone would speak to something occurring, good, bad, or indifferent, you can think of their argument for or against on the basis of a mini theory. That their way they would make it better and going in the right way to make it better is what constitutes their mini theory. So this is where a community of agreement comes in. After each person speaks, the floor is open for anyone to comment. We offer each other constructive criticism or support depending on the issues, and at the end of each open floor, we would all come together and make a consensus on things that we need to change, things that we want to stay the same, things that need to be promoted, things that need to be demoted, etc., etc. At the end of the meetings, we document the final consensus that we all came to, and everyone signs off on them as being acknowledged and understood. This policy has kept us all on the same page and all in agreement and an understanding, which is crucially important since we work in a solo operation that is so codependent. Now, with that being said, I will transition from my experience in relation to a community of agreement and to some tendencies that I found as a result of these meetings. The first thing that I noticed since we implemented these team meetings about a year and a half ago, is we became way more productive and effective as a team. Taking an hour to about an hour and a half out of the day, once every other week, has really focused our energy on becoming a more cohesive unit. The second thing I noticed is that we all tend to be a bit more happy. I personally think this is because through the meetings, we would lay everything out on the table and we would come to an agreement. This is incredibly beneficial for the team because everyone's voice was heard. It wasn't one person dictating to the rest what was going to happen. Focusing on a community of agreement, like the principle states, allows for a group of your peers to offer their own insights and knowledge on the subject matter. So if you look at each person's argument as a mini theory on whatever the issue may be, as a community, we accept or reject, and then we work on it together to make it something we can all agree on. Just like how many theories work together and pull from other sources to validate their theories, we would do the same thing regarding our conjectures and work to make it better for the team. So in conclusion, through reading and rereading Chapter 3, I determined that I wanted to share with you all about my experiences with a community of agreement. And it is important in the theoretical and grander scheme of all things that we do in life, but especially theoretically applied theses. But so what? Why is this important? Well, let me tell you. In the real world, it's almost impossible to work in any environment alone, with little to no interaction amongst people. In many cases, you will be working in teams of 3 or more. From what I can tell, the best way to avoid hostility and create a healthy and flourishing workplace environment, everyone must be included. Everyone is going to have their own ideas and their own principles on certain things, which I have described above as mini theories. If we take into consideration the 4th standard for an interpretive theory, which is what these opinions would be considered, to make a valid and good theory, it must be backed by a community of agreement. So if you only take away one thing from this little presentation, let it be this. You need to work together to be effective. Thank you.